I thought I would drop you this short video on how to hold on to faith during this lockdown period. I was listening to a podcast that John Maxwell was doing with Caroline Leaf, and there's a quote that he says that has stayed with me, which is that focus is faith food. Focus is faith food. That means that the things that we focus on, they develop and they grow. And Dr. Caroline Leaf was backing this up with some scientific content, talking about the fact that the things that we focus on, the things that we think about regularly, form neural pathways in our brain using proteins, and these develop into habits, and they develop into an outlook and a worldview. And so I really just want to encourage you with this, that focus is faith food. In fact, it's not a um, a, a weird concept. It reminds me of another story that I heard of some time back, and I'm sure you've come across this story. It was the story of a man who had two dogs, and sometimes there's two wolves, and these dogs would race. He would take them to the course, and they would race, and he would always be able to predict which one would win. And after some time, people started losing their bets to him. That's my version. And so they started going to him and asking him how he was able to predict so accurately which of the dogs would win each time. And this man's answer was very simple. He said, well, I choose right at the beginning of the week the dog that I want to win, and I spend the week feeding that dog. Come weekend or race day, the dog that I've been feeding is stronger, and surprise to surprise, it's the one that wins. Well, our focus and our faith works very much the same. We have to choose what we want to win. We have to choose what we want to be strong in our lives, in our psyche, in our mindset, in our souls, and we then have to take the time to feed into that space. And so the things that I focus on are the things that inevitably become strong and prevalent in my mind. I know that there's a lot going on right now, and we're watching the news. We're trying to see what the curves are doing, and the language is about what to do in terms of bending the curve, etc. And we're following the stats. But if that's our focus, and if that becomes our food, then the result becomes fear and not faith. If we're feeding ourselves with negativity, then the outcome is a negativity or a fear. But if we're feeding ourselves with the right things, feeding ourselves with the Word of God, with worship, with prayer, with good conversations, positive people that we're surrounding ourselves with, whether it's on video calls, phone calls, WhatsApp, whatever the medium that is available to you, if we're using these as focus areas, then the outcome is a faith that is strong. And this is not a foreign concept in the Bible. We read in the Bible that Jesus focused on the reward, on the hope that was set before him, and that allowed him to endure the suffering and the pain of the cross. The hope that was set before him was this idea that you and I could come before him, and we could have communion with him, we could relate with him, we could be one with him even, and one with the Father for all eternity. And this was something, an ideal that he was willing to live for and die for. And this is something that was set before him, and something that he focused on, and it motivated him to push through the pain and to do what he needed to do to get us into a relationship with the Father. And so we model our lives according to the way that Jesus lived. And so my encouragement to you in this very short video is that you would cast your hope on the things that are set before you, and that you would allow the faith to rise up as you focus on the right things, as you focus on the Word of God, as you focus on worship, as you focus on finding ways to fellowship, even through these restrictions, as we focus on inputting and feeding our souls with the right things, that this will allow us to hold on to our faith. So won't you hold on to your faith this week and encourage others to hold on to their faith by focusing on the right things. Remember, focus is faith food.